In today's modern world, we are constantly bombarded by information, pressure, and a relentless sense of urgency. From notifications on our phones and a barrage of news to societal expectations and work pressures, it all creates a never-ending cycle that leaves us feeling exhausted, stressed, and disoriented. We yearn for peace, for tranquility in our souls, but the harder we try, the more we seem to be pulled into the vortex of chaos. So, is there a way for us to find true peace amidst this turbulent world? The answer perhaps lies in an ancient philosophy, a system of thought that has existed and evolved for thousands of years: Stoicism. Stoicism isn't a new trend, nor is it a method of escaping reality. It's a way of looking at life, a way of living that helps us take control of our emotions, reactions, and choose a more meaningful life, regardless of hardships and change. It's not about being indifferent, cold, or emotionless, but rather the ability to choose what deserves our attention and let go of what does not. It's the art of not caring in an active and positive way, to focus on what truly matters. On this journey, we will explore the 10 core principles of Stoicism together to better understand the power of tranquility, the ability to control ourselves, and how we can live a meaningful life, no matter the circumstances. We will not only learn about these principles theoretically, but also delve into the analysis and discover the practical applications of them in our daily lives. Join us on a journey of self-discovery, seeking peace, and exploring the power of Stoicism. 1. Control what's within, release what's without, the foundation of freedom. The first and perhaps most important principle of Stoicism is a clear distinction between what we can control and what we cannot. This isn't a new concept, but it's a crucial foundation for anyone seeking a peaceful and meaningful life. We often waste too much energy worrying and complaining about things we can't change, such as the weather, other people's actions, unexpected events, or the past. This not only helps nothing, but also leaves us feeling tired, stressed, and powerless. Stoicism teaches us that, instead of trying to control what is beyond our reach, we should focus on controlling what is within our grasp: our thoughts, emotions, actions, and reactions. We may not be able to stop the rain, but we can choose how to face it. We can complain about the inconvenience, or we can put on a raincoat and continue our work. We cannot stop other people's criticism, but we can choose how to react to it. We can get angry and argue, or we can listen calmly and see if there's anything we can learn from it. The ability to control ourselves is the key to freedom. When we are no longer controlled by external factors, we feel freer, calmer, and more powerful to face life's challenges. We are no longer victims of our circumstances, but rather active agents in our own lives. We understand that it is our reactions, not the external events, that determine our feelings and experiences. So how can we put this principle into practice in our daily lives? First, we need to learn to identify what's within our control and what's not. Whenever we feel anxious, angry, or powerless, we should take a moment to think, is this within my control? If not, try to let it go and focus on what you can change. We can also practice mindfulness, a method that helps us become more aware of our thoughts and feelings without being controlled by them. With regular practice, we will gradually learn to control ourselves better, and we will feel freer than ever before. 2. Live fully in the present moment, the priceless gift we often miss. In modern society, we are often caught up in thoughts about the past and worries about the future. We regret past mistakes, long for missed opportunities, and fear what might happen. We often live in a virtual world where memories and future projections overshadow the present, causing us to miss out on moments worth living, the beautiful things happening right before our eyes. We often forget that the present is the only thing we truly have. The past is gone, the future is yet to come, so why don't we live fully in the present? Stoicism reminds us that living fully in the present isn't something abstract or difficult to achieve. It is simply focusing on what is happening right now, without letting our minds wander into rambling thoughts or meaningless worries. It's the ability to fully appreciate everything around us, from the smallest things like the sound of birds chirping, the sunshine, the taste of a cup of tea, to bigger things like the love of family, the connection with friends, and achievements in work. Living fully in the present is also a way to appreciate what we have, instead of always yearning for what we don't. We often overlook the good things around us because we are always obsessed with what we want to have in the future. We are often not satisfied with what we have and are always looking for new things, better things. However, Stoicism teaches us that happiness doesn't lie in what we desire in the future, but in the present, in what we have right now. So how can we practice this principle? One of the most effective ways is to practice mindfulness. Mindfulness is the ability to focus your attention on the present, without judgment, without evaluation. We can practice mindfulness by focusing on our breath, listening to the sounds around us, or feeling our body. With regular practice, we will gradually learn to live more fully, and we will find life more meaningful. We can also take the time to enjoy the small things around us, like a walk in the park, a meaningful conversation with a friend, or a delicious meal. 3. Embrace change, the endless flow of life. Life is a continuous flow, constantly changing and transforming. Everything around us is in motion and developing. Nothing is immutable. However, we humans often tend to resist change because we feel fear, anxiety, and insecurity towards new things, the unfamiliar. We prefer stability, familiarity, and we often want to hold on to what we have without wanting to change. Stoicism teaches us that instead of resisting change, we should embrace it as an inevitable part of life. Change is the law of nature, a part of the process of development and evolution. We cannot prevent change, but we can choose how to face it. We can fear and avoid it, or we can embrace it in a positive and open way. When we embrace change, we will feel freer, more adaptable, and more powerful to face life's challenges. We no longer fear new things, but see them as opportunities to learn, grow, and discover new facets of ourselves. We are no longer held back by the past, but can move forward with confidence and optimism. Embracing change also means that we accept loss and failure. Life isn't always smooth and easy. We will face difficulties, challenges, and losses. However, Stoicism teaches us that difficulties and losses are part of the process of growth, and we can learn a lot from them. We shouldn't avoid or complain about misfortunes, but rather accept them with courage and calmness. To practice this principle, we need to learn to let go of what no longer suits us, what no longer serves our growth. We need to learn to adapt to changes, and we need to trust in our ability to overcome all difficulties. We can practice mindfulness to be more aware of changes, and we can focus on what we can control so we are not overwhelmed by what we cannot. 4. Independence from external validation, the power of inner confidence. In the age of social media, we are often caught up in the cycle of comparison and external validation. We crave likes, comments, and praise, and we feel sad and disappointed when we don't receive them. We often evaluate our self-worth based on the opinions of others, based on what others think of us. This not only makes us dependent on others, but also robs us of our confidence and self-respect. Stoicism teaches us that our worth doesn't depend on other people's opinions, but lies within us, in our values, qualities, and actions. We don't need other people's approval to feel happy and complete. We need to learn to love, accept, and respect ourselves without comparing ourselves to anyone else. We need to believe in our abilities, in what we can do, and we need to live according to what we believe is right, without letting other people's opinions define our lives. Self-confidence doesn't mean we become arrogant or conceited. It means that we believe in our worth, regardless of others. We know who we are, what we want, and where we are going. We are not afraid of criticism or conflicting opinions, but see them as feedback that allows us to grow and improve. We don't let external validation control our emotions and actions. To practice this principle, we need to take the time to understand ourselves, to discover our strengths and weaknesses. We need to focus on developing positive values and qualities, and we need to learn to accept our shortcomings. We can keep a journal, reflect on our successes and failures, and seek support from trusted friends. We can also practice mindfulness to become more aware of our thoughts and feelings, and we can learn to let go of negative thoughts and useless comparisons. 5. Awareness of natural cycles, living in harmony with the rhythm of life. Life is a series of events that take place in natural cycles. There is birth, then death, beginnings, then endings, day, then night, spring, then winter. We often tend to cling to what we have, and we feel pain and regret when we face loss and change. However, Stoicism teaches us that, instead of resisting the natural cycles of life, we should accept them and live in harmony with them. Everything in this universe is moving and changing in certain cycles. Trees shed their leaves in the winter to prepare for rebirth in the spring. The moon changes its phases from new moon to full moon, and our lives are the same. We may experience times of joy and happiness, but we will also have to face times of hardship, suffering, and loss. Accepting the natural cycles of life doesn't mean we become indifferent or unemotional towards loss, but it means we understand that everything is finite, and we cannot hold on to anything forever. It means that we cherish what we have, and we are not afraid of what is to come. It means we learn to live fully in each moment, knowing that every moment is priceless and that we cannot go back to the past. When we live in harmony with the rhythm of life, we will feel more peaceful, more accepting, and able to overcome difficulties more easily. We will understand that losses and changes are a part of life, and we cannot avoid them. We will no longer feel fear or worry about what we cannot control, but rather embrace it with courage and calmness. To practice this principle, we need to take the time to observe nature, to feel the rhythm of life, and to learn from change. We can walk in the park, gaze at the sky, listen to birds singing, or read books about nature. We can practice mindfulness to be more aware of changes, and we can focus on what we can control so we are not overwhelmed by what we cannot. Next, we will continue to explore the remaining 5 principles with similar depth and detail. Each principle will be analyzed, explained in detail, and we will learn how to apply them in everyday life. 6. Finding growth in adversity, transforming challenges into strength. Life is not always smooth and easy. We will face hardships, challenges, failures, and unwanted events. Sometimes we will feel frustrated, disappointed, and want to give up. However, Stoicism teaches us that difficulties and adversities are opportunities for us to grow and develop. They are not the end of the road, but valuable lessons that help us discover the hidden strength within ourselves. When we face difficulties, we often tend to blame fate, complain about misfortune, or blame others. However, Stoicism teaches us that these negative reactions are of no help and only make us weaker. Instead of avoiding or complaining, we should embrace difficulties with courage and calmness. We should see them as challenges, opportunities to cultivate our will, perseverance, and adaptability. Every time we overcome a difficulty, we become stronger, wiser, and more confident. We learn valuable lessons about ourselves and about life, and we discover hidden capabilities that we had not known before. Difficulties not only make us stronger, but also help us appreciate the good things in life. To practice this principle, we need to change the way we view difficulties. Instead of seeing them as negative things, we should see them as opportunities for growth. We should look for the lessons we can learn from failures and mistakes. We should accept imperfections, and we should always strive to improve. We can also seek support from trusted friends or read inspiring books to get through difficult times. 7. Nurturing inner wealth, seeking true happiness. Modern society often measures success by material standards, such as money, status, fame, and external achievements. We often chase after luxury, glamour, and think that when we achieve these things, we will be happy. However, Stoicism teaches us that true wealth doesn't lie in external things, but within us, in our virtues, values, and meaningful experiences. Inner wealth includes virtues such as compassion, kindness, gratitude, humility, patience, and courage. It includes the ability to love, forgive, empathize, and have deep connections with others. It includes the ability to enjoy the small things in life, to appreciate what we have, and to find meaning in what we do. When we focus on cultivating inner wealth, we feel happy, peaceful, and complete, regardless of external circumstances. We are no longer obsessed with comparison, competition, desire, or fear. We will live a more meaningful and happy life, not based on what we have, but on who we are. To practice this principle, we need to focus on developing our virtues. Spend time reading inspiring books, reflecting on life values, and practicing kind actions. Connect deeply with people around you, and cherish your relationships. Live simply, slow down, and find meaning in what you do. 8. Living for others, connection and meaning in life. Stoicism is not a selfish philosophy, focused only on the self. It encourages us to live for others, contribute to society, and find meaning in our connections with the community. We do not only live for ourselves, but for others around us, and we have a responsibility to help those in need. When we live for others, we not only bring them joy, but also bring meaning to our own lives. We feel that life becomes richer, more meaningful, and happier when we connect with the community, share what we have, and contribute to making the world a better place. Living for others doesn't mean we have to sacrifice ourselves, but it means we recognize that we are all connected, and that our happiness depends on the happiness of others. It means we have a responsibility to our community, to society, and to this world. To practice this principle, we can look for opportunities to help others, whether through small acts like helping a stranger carry things, donating to charity, or participating in volunteer projects. We can share our knowledge and experience with others, and we can listen to and comfort those who are experiencing difficulties. We can also find ways to make the world a better place, whether through small actions, kind words, or efforts to protect the environment. 9. Reflection, evaluation, and adjustment. The path of continuous growth. Stoicism is not a destination, but an ongoing journey. We cannot achieve perfection, but we can continually strive to become better. To do so, we need to regularly reflect on ourselves, evaluate our actions, and adjust our shortcomings. Reflection is the process of looking back at what we have done, thought, and felt. It is time for us to question ourselves, to examine our values, goals, and relationships. It's a time for us to recognize our strengths and weaknesses, learn from our mistakes, and make wiser decisions. Evaluation is the process of reviewing the results we have achieved and seeing if we are on the right path. It is time for us to evaluate successes and failures and consider what we could do better. It is also a time for us to evaluate our relationships and see if we are giving enough time and care to the important people in our lives. Adjustment is the process of changing what no longer suits us, what no longer helps us grow. It could be changing bad habits, negative thoughts, inappropriate behaviors, or meaningless goals. Adjustment could also be changing unhealthy relationships or jobs we no longer enjoy. To practice this principle, we need to take time each day to reflect on ourselves, whether through journaling, practicing mindfulness, or simply sitting quietly and thinking. We can ask ourselves questions like, what did I do well today? What could I have done better? What are my goals? And am I on the right track? We also need to be open to feedback from others and be willing to change when necessary. 10. Acceptance of fate. This section will be incorporated into previous sections as it shares similar ideas. Stoicism doesn't encourage us to complain about fate, but it encourages us to accept what's beyond our control. This doesn't mean we become passive and give up, but it means we don't waste energy fighting against what we cannot change. Instead of lamenting what has happened, let's focus on what we can do in the present and believe that even misfortunes can bring us opportunities and valuable lessons. Conclusion: a journey of continual striving towards peace. So together we have explored the 10 core principles of Stoicism. This isn't a rigid set of rules, but rather a map, a compass that helps us find peace, happiness, and meaning in this turbulent life. We have learned that true power lies not in what we possess, but in who we are, in our ability to control our emotions, reactions, and choose how we live our lives. Stoicism isn't a destination, but a continuous journey. We will never be perfect, and we will always stumble, fail, and feel lost at times. However, when we equip ourselves with the principles of Stoicism, we will have enough power to overcome difficulties, learn from our mistakes, and continue to move forward on our path to peace and happiness. Remember that this journey is personal, and we need to find ways to apply the principles of Stoicism to our own lives in the most suitable way. We can start with small things, like focusing on our breath, listening to the sounds around us, or appreciating the present moment. We can also take time to reflect on ourselves, read inspiring books, or seek support from trusted friends. Most importantly, we need to be persistent and patient, not giving up in the face of difficulties and challenges. Believe that with effort and determination, we can take control of our lives and we can find peace in our own souls. Call to action. Let's spread the power of Stoicism together. Our journey of exploring Stoicism has come to an end, but the journey of practicing and applying the principles of this philosophy to our daily lives is still ongoing. I hope that the shares in this writing have provided you with values and new insights into Stoicism. Now, I'd love to hear your feedback. What are your thoughts on the principles of Stoicism? Have you had any experiences applying them to your life? Do you have any questions or shares you would like to send to me? Please share your thoughts in the comments below so that we can learn, discuss, and spread the good values of Stoicism to more people. If you found this writing helpful, please don't hesitate to share it with your friends and loved ones so that they too have the opportunity to discover the power of peace. Let's create a community of people who are always striving for self-improvement, seeking meaning in life, and spreading positivity to the world. Thank you for taking your precious time to accompany me on this journey of exploring Stoicism. I hope that we have the chance to meet again in future articles. May you always be peaceful, happy, and keep the flame of curiosity and the desire for learning. Remember, the power of peace is always in your hands, and you always have the ability to create a meaningful and happy life for yourself. See you again.